So when I first heard about the EPIC program, I was so excited. Here in the Office of Admission, you really only get a piece of paper to get to know students. So the idea that we could get a little slice of their life, even if it was just for a minute, was just really exciting. So I love the EPIC. I think it's amazing. And I think it's a really great search engine for students to connect with colleges they may not have known about before. I would tell every student to do it. It's, like I said, it's a quick way to showcase your interests and tell us about you. So many colleges are receiving an overabundance of applications, and to connect with a student one-on-one to really kind of get to know their characteristics and what they're interested in, it's awesome. If you're nervous, take a quick video of yourself just to get prepared, but know that somebody on the other end is just so excited to get to know you. My advice, if possible, and if you're comfortable with this, is send in your first take. I know that can seem terrifying, but I think it's the most authentic. And I think when students are on the fly, we learn a little bit more. So send us your authentic self. And if you can do it, we appreciate it. If not, we know that what you're sending is still equally as awesome.
EPIC kind of allows you to have that extra layer that it allows you to express yourself, and it kind of does it in it's a formal way, but it allows you to see the admissions officers kind of informally. Numerous schools reached out to me about my video, and it really showed me that the admissions counselors, like, you kind of see them as like not really people when you're in the college admissions process. You kind of see them as like abstract figures. But I just felt like a sense of like the admissions officers, they really made me feel like a personal connection with them with their video responses back. They let you know like they actually hear you and they're listening, and they're really going to try to understand you as a person overall, and not just the grades, not just the test scores. My advice to upcoming EPIC users would just to keep things real and let your admissions officers really feel who you are as a person. In your essays, in your scores, in your GPA, they kind of get a sense of the accomplishments and stuff. I think 90 seconds is plenty if you're just discussing the intangibles and stuff. I think you might want to focus on things that you think would lack, that admissions counselors and stuff would not see in your regular application, and just things that make you stand out as a person.
My experience with EPIC was epic. My experience with EPIC, it gave me an opportunity to differentiate myself and put a face to my application. Going into EPIC, I was really excited about it actually, because I was really wanting to find a way to differentiate myself as an academic learner, but also as a person. I was really surprised when I heard from schools that I hadn't high-fived, and it was really helpful to broaden my interest in all the schools that I was looking at. What was helpful for me was to think of it as an interview and as a way to really differentiate yourself. And if you know, for example, your family members, your friends tell you, all these different parts of your personality that are really strong, then you want to really make that perceivable in your 90 seconds, because it gives you that opportunity to connect, especially in this virtual world, right? Because everyone is virtual. So we now know how to look somebody virtually in the eyes and be connected with the person and understand where they're coming from.
There's a particular video where a student actually told us quite a bit about her younger sibling. She was the oldest of three. You could tell she was really, really just head over heels in love with her siblings. And that information often doesn't come through applications, right? Students often find or we on the admissions end, I guess, often find that students don't talk super in depth about their relationships with their families sometimes, because they might feel that it's unimportant or irrelevant. But this student, you could tell, was just doting on her younger siblings. And that made me just think this student would be such a wonderful fit for our campus, right? Because a lot of those things that she talked about indirectly were very relevant to the kinds of students we want on campus, right? We want students that are genuine. We want students that are excited about connections with others. We talk so much about community at small liberal arts colleges. And the fact that this student was so invested in her relationships with her siblings made me think she would be really invested in relationships with her peers on campus, right? Which made me even more excited to talk with her further. I think there's a real hesitancy sometimes to connect with admissions officers, and I think often there can be fear in connecting with us, right? Because students really want to present the best versions of themselves, and that is wonderful. But the best version of yourself does not correspond to the most well manicured version of yourself. We want to hear genuinely from you who you are as you are.